started like any other morning. The kind of morning that feels predictable, almost automatic. People waking up early, getting dressed, stepping out into the streets with the same thoughts they had the day before. Work to do, hours to pass. A routine that doesn't feel dangerous, because it isn't supposed to be. Inside a factory building in New York City, workers were already settling into their day. Conversations drifting between rows of sewing machines, the sound of fabric moving under needles, the quiet rhythm of productivity filling the air. Most of them were young women. Immigrants, many of them, working long hours for little pay. It wasn't easy work, but it was normal. And normal feels safe. That morning, no one walked in thinking it would be their last. This was the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. A disaster that didn't just happen because of fire, but because of something much deeper. Something built into the way the place was run. Long before anything went wrong, the factory occupied the upper floors of a tall building, high above the street, far enough that anything happening below felt distant. Inside, the space was crowded. Rows of machines placed close together, narrow walkways between them. Fabric was everywhere, stacked on tables piled in corners, hanging loosely. It made the work efficient, but it also made the environment dangerous, because fabric burns, and when there's a lot of it, fire doesn't spread slowly, it spreads fast. But no one was thinking about that, because when something becomes part of your everyday life, you stop seeing the risk. The work continued. Machines moving, hands working, voices blending into the background. And then, something small happened. So small, no one noticed it at first. A spark, maybe from a machine, maybe from a match, maybe something no one ever fully identified. But in a place like that, a spark is enough, because once it touches fabric, it doesn't stop. At first, it was just a flicker, then a flame, then something bigger. The fire caught onto nearby materials, moving quickly, faster than anyone expected. Flames climbing through fabric, spreading across tables, jumping from one section to another. Smoke began to rise, thick, dark, filling the air before people could fully understand what was happening. At first, confusion. People looked up from their work. Some stood, some turned, trying to figure it out. What is that? Then came the smell. Burning, sharp, immediate, and suddenly, it wasn't confusion anymore. It was fear. People began moving toward exits, not running yet, but moving quickly, because instinct tells you to get out. But then, something stopped them. The doors, they were locked. Locked, not because of the fire, but because of policy, because management wanted control, to prevent theft, to monitor workers. And now, those decisions mattered, because when people reached the doors, they couldn't open them. And in that moment, everything changed. Panic didn't build slowly anymore. It exploded. People rushed forward, pushing, shouting, trying to force their way through. But the doors wouldn't move. Behind them, the fire was growing, faster, hotter, closer. Smoke filled the room. Breathing became harder. Eyes burned. Visibility dropped. And every second made it worse. Some tried other exits, but there weren't enough. Some tried the elevators, but they could only carry a few people at a time. Trips up and down, too slow, not enough. And time was running out. The fire spread across the floor, consuming everything in its path. Fabric igniting instantly, flames climbing higher, heat building so quickly that standing near it became unbearable. People began to realize something. There was no clear way out, no safe exit, no guaranteed escape. And when that realization hits, everything changes. Some ran toward the windows, opening them, looking down, and what they saw didn't offer hope. The street below, far, far away, too far to survive the fall. But behind them, the fire. And now, they were trapped between two impossible choices: stay and face the flames, or jump and face the fall. Imagine that moment. Standing there, heat behind you, height below you, and no other option. Some people hesitated, some stayed, hoping something would change, hoping someone would open the doors, hoping help would arrive in time. But hope doesn't always come fast enough. Others made a decision. Not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. They climbed onto the windows and jumped one after another, because staying inside felt worse. Outside, people gathered, watching, unable to help. Firefighters arrived quickly, but their ladders didn't reach high enough. Their equipment wasn't built for this. They tried, but they couldn't reach them. And inside, the fire kept moving. Relentless, unstoppable. In minutes, everything changed. What started as a normal workday became a disaster. Lives lost, not because the fire was unstoppable, but because escape was taken away. Because of decisions made before the fire that no one thought would matter. Locked doors, limited exits, no proper safety planning, and when something went wrong, those decisions became deadly. When it was over, the building was still standing, but inside, everything was gone. The loss wasn't just physical, it was human. Stories, families, lives ended in a matter of minutes. And afterward, questions began. Why were the doors locked? Why weren't there enough exits? Why wasn't safety prioritized? And those questions led to change. Laws were rewritten, safety regulations improved, because what happened couldn't be allowed to happen again. At least, that was the goal. But the story remains, because it's not just about the fire. It's about what led to it, the choices, the decisions, the things ignored when everything seemed normal. Because danger doesn't always come from something unexpected. Sometimes, it comes from things we already know, but choose not to fix. And if this story makes you uncomfortable, that's because it should. Because it reminds us that safety isn't automatic. It's created, and when it's ignored, the consequences can be devastating. If you want more stories like this, real stories, powerful stories, the kind that stay with you and make you see the world differently, then stay here, because the next story might be even more intense than this one.